Luke Michael Howard, clinical hypnotist and owner of Lukenosis Hypnosis. Today I want to talk about pretend problems and symptoms versus the real problem and the root cause. Now, oftentimes, almost all the time, clients come to me because they have a negative emotion that they're experiencing too much of. Something like this, something like shame, for example, or possibly something like this, grief, or possibly something like this, hopelessness. And although I appreciate the client is experiencing discomfort and suffering from these, and all they want me to do is to help them to let go, to release those negative emotions. However, those negative emotions might be in the context of a relationship, in the context of work, in the context of their health. So if all we did is help them to release that negative emotion from that specific context, that's all well and good. But guess what? It's going to come back in another context, in another area of their life, because we were dealing with the symptom, the trigger, and not the cause. So it becomes very, very ineffective. This is why I don't know you, or if you know somebody who's been going to therapy for years, and in their own words, not mine, they are still messed up and they've still got a lot of work to do. And it's not their fault, by the way. It was a system they've been told to follow, but they've put a lot of time now into trying to overcome this problem. They've got a codependent relationship with the therapist, the counselor, the psychotherapist, the life coach, the psychiatrist, if you will. So it's almost like being with a paid friend. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in being a paid friend with somebody. What I'm interested in is helping clients get to the bottom of this. All these blocks will form up to make their trauma. So the trauma gets placed down in their life, and all these triggers, all these negative emotions start to form this trauma. The trauma's underneath all of this, but all these negative emotions, these limiting beliefs, they start to build up over time. So oftentimes the client will just want to talk about the thing that's on top of their trauma structure, if you will. However, just dealing with that is great. It might nuke or get rid of that particular problem for a while, but then there's a heck of a lot of other stuff that's underneath that's stopping them from having the joy, love, happiness, prosperity that they want in life. I don't know you or someone you know, perhaps intimately, they went to therapy for something, they seemingly got rid of the thing they wanted to get rid of, but unfortunately they're still very unhappy and they don't enjoy their life, and they've still got a heck of a lot more problems. Again, it's not your fault, it's not those people's fault, it's what they've been brainwashed to believe by modern society to keep them coming in for more sessions, building up codependent relationships so the therapist can continue to get paid year after year. Now, I don't suggest that every therapist is like that. I know many good ones. However, the whole structure of that relationship is built on you not getting healed, so you keep going back over and over again, because let's face it, that's how the traditional therapist gets paid. If you get fixed, not that I believe that you're broken, but you know what I mean, then you wouldn't need to see him or her anymore. So for that $50, $100 an hour they charge you, they're going to go out of work, out of practice very quickly. So client comes in, they want to get rid of their weakness. We get rid of their weakness, guess what? They're still unhappy because that wasn't the real trauma. That was just the top block. So traditional therapy would be, let's talk about everything. And then over time, years, and a lot of money, cumulatively, you might start to weaken up that model, start to weaken up that structure. But it takes a hell of a lot of time and a hell of a lot of money, not necessarily per session, but over the length of the relationship. That's the model of traditional therapy, counseling, psychotherapy, life coaching. It's to keep you on the hamster wheel, whether the therapist is aware or honest enough to tell you that or admit it to themselves or not. It doesn't work. Going after every specific problem is just going to take the rest of your life and an awful lot of money. And I don't know how much time that you've got left in your life, but do you really want to waste it agonizing over every specific issue. No, because it takes too much time, too much money. In the hypnosis and kind of change work that I do, I go straight for that trauma. I go for the root cause, that when that root cause is pulled out, that whole structure falls down and disappears. And your life is changed forever. And it doesn't take weeks, it doesn't take months, it doesn't take years, it doesn't take decades. It doesn't cost you remortgaging your house, your car, getting a second or third job. Because when we're done, the structure drops down, the trauma lets go, and you're free to make the rest of your life the best of your life. If you're ready to take that next step, then book your free screening call with me, Luke Michael Howard, clinical hypnotist and personal change worker, to help you break down that structured trauma in your life rapidly, possibly within the next week, and live the kind of life that you deserve. Always believe.